Good afternoon, everybody. Wow, this is our last meeting for the month of March 2021. And I'm so excited to have you on the show. And today is special edition. Yes. Today is special edition because usually we come here for, say that, what's the name? The idea moment with Rachel and so on. Or at other times, I just post a video, but today it's not about posting a recorded video, it's not about the idea moment with Rachel, is somehow a different show. But guess what? When it's Rachel, it's usually idea moment because if it's me, idea must be involved, creativity must be involved, innovation must be involved. So, welcome to today's show. This is me talking about the 10 fastest way to build a globally relevant brand that attracts. That's even why how the global came into it. This is a brand that attracts international attention within the shortest time. Within the shortest time. It's possible. It's doable. I did it. You can do it. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rachel G. Onyemairo, your author, internationally published author, of course, a best-selling author, and I'm the go-to person when it comes to purpose discovery, when it comes to innovation in Nigeria, and of course in Africa. Okay, so I'm so glad you could make it to the class today. I'm so glad you could make it to class today. So you are welcome. All right, so please do well to tell us where you're watching from. Do well to tell us your name. We should see your name actually. Tell us where you're watching from, okay? All right. This is a planned class. I promised us this class and I want to share it. Actually, the brand called Rachel G. Onyemairo began in March 2019 and today ends the month of March 2021. So it didn't begin at early March actually. It began around late March. So this is our 2 years as a brand, a fast growing brand. This brand is a fast grown one and of course a fast growing one. Okay. All right. So excuse me. And as I keep sharing the things God helps us to achieve as a brand, a lot of people are like, Madam, how do you do it? How did you get here? Yes, I got here by God's grace, but of course, beyond God's grace, I mean, besides God's grace, rather, in addition to God's grace, there were a few things I did that gave that grace expression. Okay? Yes, we are not part of those that rely and go and sleep and say the grace of God is there. No, the grace of God helps us to take actions if you're willing to really cooperate with the grace. Okay, so to be able to get to where I am today, I was able to do some different things. Yes, different things. I was also able to do some usual things in different ways. Did you get that? I did some different things or some unusual things. I did also other similar or usual things, but in somewhat different ways. So the totality of these were what brought us to where we are today. Now, the question is, where are we today? I started out, it was in March 2020, 2019 that I knew that there's actually something called brand. I didn't know. What I know the word brand to mean is like company. When they say paracetamol is a brand of aminophylline or whatever, that is paracetamol 500 milligram. We have Panadol 500 milligram. We have a Paradex, those different companies. So we could say different brands, you get. So that was the much I knew about brand as at 2019 March. Same with coach. I've always known coach to be a sport, instructor or supervisor, the meaning of coach in the world of sport. That was all your sister knew as at March 2019. But one thing led to another. I found myself somewhere on the digital space. Okay, how did it begin? My brand began because I got to a point in my life where I was not happy about what was happening to me. Aside the fact that I was looking for a job and I wasn't getting any, I also felt that I shouldn't just end working, just lecturing, just a lecturer. Something kept telling me, Rachel, you're made for more, and something kept telling me, Rachel, is it not you again? They're promising you, Rachel of all people, Rachel. Something in me has always said you'll be great in life. You go places, you'll affect lives, you go global and all that. But could that happen just by teaching? So I was feeling that no, lecturing may not even actually take me to these places. But I was still looking for Waisha because I needed money at the time. Eventually, I did not get the job. Despite the fact I looked for it in many places, in many ways, many universities and all that. Okay, so why that happened? Something also kept saying, Rachel, what you carry should be able to employ yourself. You shouldn't be among those who are stranded because you are not employed by someone else. This became a matter. How do I begin? How much do I have? So a lot of things, went on in my heart. It was just about 3 months after my wedding. Is it almost 3 months? I don't think it was exactly 3 months. So my husband was like, Madam, what's your problem? You could be leaving in the morning, you could give me some cash. But, like anything you want to buy, take care of yourself. Well, I knew that wasn't all about me. I was made for more. Something in me was struggling for expression, but I didn't know what exactly it was. Meanwhile, I know my purpose is around capacity building, is around guiding destinies, but guiding them to do what? One day, I went on WhatsApp and I saw a post someone put on the group where I belong to. So I saw the post. I finished reading. The post was interesting. When I finished reading the poster was kind and sincere enough that's the one that sent the post to the group, to indicate the author of that write-up. This is what many of us don't do. I am who I am today because the person that posted something on a WhatsApp group where I was indicated the author. So when I saw that name, I recalled I had heard that name before. A friend of mine had once mentioned that guy's name. I said, wow, come on, what's happening here? Isn't this guy? I began to Google him. Now, if this guy, the poster did not indicate who the person was, the author and all that, I would have just finished reading and said, wow, nice writing. Even though I know the particular person that made send the post to the group, and I know the kinds of things he writes, and I know he wasn't the author. Even if he did not say he wasn't the author, I know he wasn't. I would just feel maybe he copied from somewhere, and as usual, the way people behave, he came and just posted it in the group. As like more of impersonating, you get. So, but he mentioned the name. So, why every other person read the post and said, wonderful, Rachel went to Google. Someone, people are watching, welcome, welcome, welcome. I went to Google. I wanted to follow this story because this story is remarkable to me. I went to Google. I typed his name. When I typed the name of the writer of this post, who I told you my friend had earlier told me about in the past, when I typed his name, I saw a lot of things, some things about him and all that. I read about him a bit, and I sought him to social media because I saw his social media handles on, excuse me, on Google. So I went to trace him, and eventually I noticed that he has a social media, an online community, and I joined. That was the starting point of my movement, of my journey. That's how Rachel began to get a glimpse of her destiny in full. So when I joined his Facebook, it was actually Facebook community. And I began to watch the kinds of posts that were made there. I began to watch the kinds of posts he himself made. The ones he made in the past, the ones he was putting in then. It was like when this guy was talking about himself, he was talking about me. It was like we had similar destiny. It was like I was reading myself in his write-ups. I followed it hard. Guess what? Hey, it took me like about a week in that Facebook group, about just a week. And I couldn't get myself anymore. I told you earlier that something in me was struggling for expression. At this point, it wasn't just, the stuff was already trying to jump, jump. Hey, it was trying to jump. The struggling for expression was so much, okay? It was so much. It was so much that he wanted to jump out of me. You get? He wanted to jump out of me. So I began. I told my hubby, my friend, you know what? No. I'm meant for more. I need to begin. I began to build brand. At this time, I hadn't even undergone any training. It was free resources. When I see people playing with free resources, I laugh. I'm a product of free resources. Did I not pay for classes? I did. I paid for a lot of classes. As I speak with you, there are ones I paid for. I got the materials. I've not even been able to take the class because it's been sent to me. It's not a public class. So what I'm saying is that I pay for class. I keep doing that as the need arises. But guess what? Beyond paying, the real deal is usually at the free class. The only thing is that the paid class tells you, like, you run into confusion. You need to know how to apply the general knowledge to a specific situation. The paid class will give you the opportunity to get to approach the teacher, the tutor, the coach, or whatever, and they would show you how to apply it to your situation because you paid. But anything or almost anything you can get in a paid class, believe me, you get it in free class. Like what I'm doing today. The things I'll be sharing today are the things people pay for. And people will still, a lot of people who missed out on this will still come to me and pay. And I'll teach them. Yes, so that's how life is. People have to keep making mistakes, falling, the trap of ignorance. So other people will keep being wise. It's not wickedness. Life is like that. There's a need, to have a balance of equilibrium. Excuse me. So that was how we began. I came to ask myself, what can I teach, Rachel? What can you teach? Now I was already certain about my purpose. I said, what can I teach? What can I sell? I didn't have physical product at the time. I didn't even have money enough to go get physical product because my husband was the only one catering for the home, for the new family, his own family, plenty demand on him. So beginning to ask him for some reasonable amount of money to start a physical whatever wasn't very easy for me. Besides, I am someone who don't actually have much interest in trading physical product, going to market, buy, put in the shop, and that kind of business. So I decided to do a knowledge-based business. So I began. When I began, I told myself, what will I now teach? It became another issue. I looked around. I said, okay, since my purpose, my direction in life is about guiding destinies, it's about building capacity, investing in men in terms of knowledge and guidance and intellectual illumination. I said, okay, what will happen is that what can I teach very well? I looked at my talents. I looked at my strengths. Okay, when I examined and I noted them, I then looked at my experiences, the things I've experienced in the past. Okay, then I looked at the problems I've personally encountered as individual, which is part of my experiences. which one pained me so much, and which one have I overcome? Okay. I noticed that I suffered from unemployment. That is, I found getting job a bit difficult. But I wanted to teach that. But what will I teach since I had not actually got job at the time? So I noticed another thing that happened was that being able to find direction, because I am multi-talented naturally. I know how to do many things, and I do a lot of things very well. That if I do this, you may think, oh, Rachel, this is your field in life. I do the other one, you feel, no, it should be this. In fact, if you see me do certain things, each of them you find me doing, you would think that's my calling. So I began to think like, so eventually I have been able to narrow down. Okay, what happened was that I began to find where my direction in life is, which is my purpose, and I've been able to discover purpose. So I said, okay, that's an experience, that's an area I had problem that I have been able to solve. Okay, I'm not confused when it comes to purpose. No, I am not confused. Okay, I am not confused. Now, the next thing I began to ask myself is, what kind of problems have I been able to solve in the past? Since I want to start selling solutions, I needed to sell solutions that I've tested in the past. So I noticed I've been a counselor from time immemorial. I remember then till now, many people in my church, for example, when I was still single, anyway, each time someone was getting married, my church could actually do marriage very nicodemously, but not for me. I would always know. How do I know, or how did I know? Because those people getting married would always, find a way to my house to come and ask me. Almost everyone that got married in my church asked for my counseling. Imagine me, I was still single, I was still below 30, but people were asking me for counseling before they got married. So again was kids, when children want to go to choose the area of study in secondary school, where they get to SS1, when they want to enter the university, when someone doesn't just know how to go about life in terms of career, in terms of destiny, in terms of calling. These are areas people have always come to ask me randomly, and I've been rendering these services for free, for absolutely free. Actually, I kept doing that, and I wasn't collecting money. In fact, it became normal to everyone that knows me. Whenever people are confused in life, they say, oh, go to Antigene, go to Antigene. I mean, people come for me to collect wisdom, collect counseling, just like that too. And then I also notice that one of the giftings I have, whether you call it gifting or you call it skill, is discernment. I could discern. Not that whatever you tell me, I have the answer, but most times, as someone is talking to me, in fact, as a Christian, usually when you're talking to me, I'm saying, Holy Spirit, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? That's if I don't know what to say. Before you finish the talking, this is my usual way anyway, even if I think I know what to say. Before you finish the talking, God would have told me even the ones you did not say. Okay, there are times people would say something and they'll present it in a one-sided form, more of in a way that it favors them, it looks, it presents them, innocent. So God would tell me this is, give me elaboration. So I could actually analyze. I have the ability to dissect issues, analyze, think deeply, and come up with whatever it is that is the answer. So boom, according to people, I told myself, okay. Now I looked at all of this. I said, you know what? It means I have a calling. That is, I have I can help people to discover their purposes. I can help people to discover their purposes. Okay, because all these things, I looked at them, they're all in the direction of purpose discovery. Inside purpose, you can say, okay, when I help people to discover their calling, so if someone knows what their calling is, I mean, I began to reason that it's so unreasonable for someone to study a course that does not relate to their direction in life. This was one thing I got right by God's grace. As a person, when I was going to the university, I knew range of courses or set of courses that I should study. One out of them, and eventually I studied. What I studied eventually is one out of the courses I should study. It may not have been the prime one I wanted to study, but then it was one of them. And so till tomorrow, I don't think that I studied the wrong course. I don't think. No. So at this level, I can divert. I can go into other fields. But as in first degree, I studied the right course. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll be going to People's Discovery. So I told myself that I looked at a lot of jobs, including my husband's job. My husband's job was taking, in 24 hours a day, that job was taking about 16 hours of his. And I looked at a lot of people working around me. That's the kind of jobs they do. Jobs that take and take and take and take. NEPA has just collected the light, so I'm feeling hot. Okay, so I decided that I would teach people how to discover purpose and how to discover the kind of job or profession or career that falls within the confines of the purpose. And when they do that as early as possible, early enough, at least before they get to the university, they should now sit back to look for a course of study that should prepare them better to be able to practice such career, such profession, such business. Do you get? And your sister launched out. That's how the brand called Rachel Ogini Kachukonye-Mairo began. I think I've taken time to tell this story. All right, almost 30 minutes telling the story. Let's get into the gist. So that was how I began. And today, look at what it is. To the glory of God, this brand has grown. That was how I came. I'm telling you. I didn't go to, a lot of people are doing well in businesses today because they consulted me. I guided them on the path of purpose, on path of finding a career niche, and starting the businesses and doing well in them. I didn't consult anyone to discover my purpose. I discovered my purpose when I did not know much about purpose discovery, they say, but I just knew about direction in life. I didn't even know much of the word purpose, but I knew what I had a calling. I could call it a calling. I could use the word direction, the central me, So that was it. Okay, so now I want to teach you a few things I did from then to today that made me to go as far as I've gone. By the grace of God, my brand is doing pretty well. I must be honest with you. My brand is doing pretty well. To the glory of God. So the first step that I took, I didn't take this step in 2019. I took it before then. But it helps and still helps me. I will explain. Is to sincerely surrender to Jesus. Someone will say, what if I'm a Muslim? What if I'm a Buddhist? What if I'm this, if I'm that, if I'm not a Muslim, a Christian, excuse me. Are you saying I cannot run a successful brand? I'm not saying so. What I'm sharing with you is what worked for me. If there's something else that can work for any other person, is the cup of coffee. What worked for me is that I sincerely gave my life to Christ. So please, the first step is to sincerely give your life to Christ. There's something I see these days and I don't get it. People say they are Christians, and how you know that they are Christians is that they keep sharing encouragement. Holy Ghost keep ministering to them, edifying them, affirming them, making them encouraged and all of that. I don't understand. I don't have such experience of such a single package reception in Christianity. When you give your life to Christ, you have access to God. God begins to speak with you. So I am saying that the first thing you do is that you give your life to Christ sincerely and genuinely, surrender to Him, such that you have a relationship with Him. He begins to speak with you. And the things God tells you are not only directions you should go in life, which is very popular in many churches. I don't get what people are saying. Such things are just one, okay? That particular thing is just one out of the many other things you gain or you get from being a believer. Because some of it, you need to give your life to Christ and walk with God to a point where God is able to warn you. Today, I rarely hear such brothers say, God warned me. There's nothing like that. God should warn you if indeed you're a believer. So relate with God in such a manner that He warns you, in such a manner that He corrects you, in such a manner that He encourages and edifies and talks to you, in such a manner that He gives you notifications, alerts, about your life in relation to eternity, heaven or hell. Yes. By the 31st of November 2020, God gave me a revelation of hell, of rapture now. You know, this time it was rapture. And God said, you are not going to heaven if rapture happens now. That was on 31st of November 2020. And He made me to go back and check my life and try to put some things right. So when you are saying you should give your life to Christ in such a way that God speaks to you and in a comprehensive, balanced manner, not in the prosperity only way, you know, only prosperity way. I hope you get it. The better you get it, the more you get it, the better. I'm telling you. That was what happened to me. Now see how the role this thing played. When I was going into this thing, I'm telling you, I prayed. I said, God, what would I do? I was asking God, lead me, lead me, lead me. I didn't even, it was when I had prayed, I said, God, lead me. These things I shared with you, the way it was that my talent, my skill, my this one, which no one taught me, was that leading of God. And eventually I landed on teaching purpose. I have not forgotten, it's still on my jotter. One of the days I went to church, while the service was going on, God was letting me know a number of things about purpose, how to help people. Because at a point I was planning, how do I launch out? What do I say? How do I? So the next thing is, in summary, I should be able to help people discover their purpose. This should be the end point. If people do not discover their purpose at the end, so what exactly am I teaching? So the next question is, how can someone discover their purpose? Because the way I discover my own purpose, I was just looking at it and all that. Now, in addition to the way I discover my purpose, and even that way it was in the church, God began to lead me to, first, how did you discover yours? I noted them down. Then, how have you heard anyone, any day, anytime, say how they discovered theirs? I noted them. And the teachings I began to hear, not actually that I paid for a class, but teachings about people that I have exposed myself to within the shortest days, past days as I then now, I began to also to know these things. So a number of things I'll be teaching you even today are part of the things that God told me. Go this way, go this way, go this way. Another thing is this, because I have a relationship with God, not only for encouragement's sake, God warned me. He gave me a condition. He said, I can make you great. Do you get? God promised me, I can make you very great in this industry. I can make you an highly elevated brand, but you have to make my word your watchword. If you keep me aside, I will relegate you to the background. I've not forgot that day. God told me, so each time I begin to do badly as a brand, whereas I can look at physical areas I might not be making it, I usually go back to God, because I know the deal I have with Him. He told me specifically the things I would do with His word, how I would go with it to make it or to fail. God let me know that my success as a brand will not be dependent on my physical efforts. It's not just about the grace, it's about His presence. He says He is the God. Any man can talk, but He is the God who makes any man to hear what He wants him to hear. Maybe you don't know. It's not enough to talk. It's God who makes them to hear what they will hear. If God does not make them to hear what you're saying, you'll be talking, they'll be hearing another thing. Do you get? So these are the things I collected. So when I launched out, and why I kept doing it, I noticed that the brand building is work. Hey, is work. Brand building is work. I labored for these things. Okay? I labored for these things. And because I labored for them, at a point it was competing with my fellowship with God, with my quiet time, because sometimes posts have to be made very early in the morning. I have to pray in the morning, a lot of things. So it wasn't very easy for me, and I was asking God. It was as if my relationship with God was getting severe and not as intimate as usual. I was asking God, talk to me. Oh, how about this? Oh, is it okay? God, am I still doing? Should I leave this work? Till today, I still ask God sometimes. I say, God, I hope you are still with me. Because when you were telling me, you didn't say I will do this thing forever. Neither did you say I will do it and stop. I'm just asking in case for any good reason, any reason best known to you, you want me to quit doing what I'm doing. I don't mind, provided I'm sure God said I should quit. Because it's better to, please God. than to, it's better to die than to sin. So for me, pleasing God is first, living is second, prospering is third. Do you get? That's me. I don't, there's people saying to be easy. For me, Ndo Aburo easy. As Igbo people say it. Okay. So the first thing, and he makes the hand of God. You've heard me, even the post I made today on Facebook. I made mention of the fact that I'm a Holy Ghost assisted coach. If I tell you because I began with God, I mean, it's not just that I'm doing something on the path of my purpose. There's a place for will of God. Will of God is not exactly similar with purpose, but they are related. Purpose is part of the will of God, but there are other aspects of will of God that is beyond purpose. For example, your purpose is to add value to life. How in particular would you do this? God can tell you. There are specifications. If the right business for you, for example, is maybe rendering maternity services. That's your right service. You're sure that's what you are calling is into and all of that. God can tell you when to start, where to do the job, and other specifications. That's what we call God's will. So I remember there have been times people come to me and say, Holy Ghost led me. In fact, today, I even forgot. A woman met me last year and said, Holy Ghost told him. He was watching someone's video on YouTube. He said, Holy Ghost told him to go on Facebook and follow me. A woman called me from, I don't even know where she called from, whether it's South or where. I don't know the part of the, I think she's in Nigeria. But I don't, till now, and maybe I'll ask later. She reached to me and said God told her to go buy my book. Do you understand? This morning, I attended to a client in my institution, Innovators iSpace, and she came to my inbox and said that she's been looking for who to go to, that God personally told her to come to me. Now, when the will of God is with you, the way of God will be with you. Did you get that? It was the will of God to deliver Peter from prison in Acts of the Apostles. And so when the angel of the Lord reached Peter, brought Peter, the Bible said the gates were gates of bronze and brass and all that, iron and all that, doubly locked. The presence of God with Peter made the gate to open in its own accord. Do you understand? So one of the things that helps Rachel as a brand that many people on social media don't know. I don't say it so many times because people may think I'm sounding religious, but I'm being real. Because I promise to share with you my secret is that I actually began with God. And even in this process, I have got myself, I've found myself offending God. Yes. There are times God wants me. This thing you're doing is not the way I'm doing it, or what I did, or how I did it, or whatever. Or maybe I finished saying something, and God said, there's an adjustment of the truth in what you said. I'll go back to the post, edit it to make sure it is the truth, unadjusted. Do you understand? And many other things. There are things I want to go marketing. There are times that I want to go marketing. I actually do marketing than doing selling. What I usually do is to go market. Selling comes on its own. I hope you know there's a difference between marketing and selling. Sometimes I want to market, and the only person that has bought my product is maybe one person. And a lot of people lie on social media. Maybe you don't know. Many people lie. Many lie. Those people that sang grace goes for me. I'm a product of grace. I'm grace specified. Many people lie. They have one client buy the product, they will say many have bought, just 2 slots left, but they still have 99 slots left. These are lies. So sometimes I want to write, and if I say the truth, it may look like I'm not selling, but I need to say, you know what? But I will still say the truth because I'm a believer. And in each of those cases, God knows how to do his work himself. Do you understand? That's my personal secret. Because there's a way you watch me as a brand. A lot of people are not able to understand me. My growth is so welcome. I see people watching. I'm happy you're here. Okay, I see your presence. So my growth is something people are still struggling to get. How does Rachel do it? So I'm just telling you my secrets. Okay, let's quickly go to the second one. Is solve a problem you have a personal experience about. I shared with you earlier. If you came late, please watch this video from the beginning. This is about 4:37. So it means that for the past 36 minutes or so I've been talking. Please watch from the beginning, okay? At least when you watch from now to the end, you now go back and watch from the end from the beginning to 36 minutes. Okay, I shared how I began. So do a business, build a brand on an area you have experience. It helps a lot. There's a particular woman I know on social media. I don't want to mention her name. When I see the things she does, sometimes she'll be calling, begging people to come and contact me, come and do this, come and call me for your radio program, come and let's talk, come and, you know, she'll be begging to be called, to be patronized, to be featured and all that. I just smile. One aspect I see her miss as a brand is sharing personal experiences and stories. As a brand, you need to share this, and you can only do this if you're in an area where you have experience. It's easier to do. So if one of the things that helped me is that I am building this on an area I have experience. So I shared how I got to discover my purpose, how I was confused. It wasn't only me, even my siblings, because I came from a family where all of us are very intelligent academically, we are multi-talented. In fact, my siblings can do many things well, many things. So it was a bit difficult for each of us to find where we belong and actually stick there and become a person, you know, a name, make a name there for ourselves. That is, build a brand. So this were one of the battles I fought and I overcame. Okay, I began and all that. So when I started on purpose, it's something that I knew. So the way, because I actually jotted down all these things so I don't get to forget any. So I said, solve a problem you have personally overcome. Okay, solve a problem you have overcome. I mean, some people are faking it on social media. They are trying to tell people how I made 6 figures. These are people that have never made 100,000. So solve a problem you have overcome. It's easier, no matter how small, than lying. Do you get? I told you when I was beginning that I wanted to solve the problem of unemployment, but I cannot say how to get job because I hadn't gotten job at the time. Do you get? And so because I couldn't boast of having a job, if I started teaching that I had a job, many would not know. Do you get? Because most of my audience are on social media, online audience, and some of them don't know me personally, so they wouldn't even know I am just I'm lying, you know. So a lot of people live fake life on social media. So I had to stay on an area where I met a problem and I've been able to solve that problem for myself, so that in the course of teaching others how to do that, that is the issue of purpose now, I taught them one of the ways I teach. If you watch, there are 3 ways to discover purpose. If you have read my book, Why Do You, or have you passed through my class or my teachings, there are 3 ways to discover purpose. And out of those 3 ways, one was the way I discovered mine. 2 are the ways I know purpose can be discovered, but I didn't get to discover mine through those means. Imagine if I have not discovered purpose in the first place. One of the persons that discovered purpose with me, she's a research assistant in a hospital, a very reputable hospital in Enugu. She read microbiology or something. She's a graduate of microbiology and all that. She's also a forex trader and so on. This girl said something, this lady, when she was testifying, when she discovered her purpose in my class and her joy knew no bound. She said that everywhere she has ever gone or been to, they talk about what is purpose, why you need to discover purpose. In fact, she made a point. She said that many people talking about purpose, specifically in their individual lives, have not discovered purpose. Have not discovered purpose. She said it's Rachel she came to. She saw a lady that is clear about her own purpose. She can tell you what it is. You see her live it on daily basis, and so it's easy for her to get things clarified to you, you know. So this is one of my unique selling points. I have personally discovered. I will teach you a little more about unique selling points. I personally discovered my purpose, and I can tell how I discovered it, so it's easier for me. So I'm saying you should solve a problem. You should build a brand around a problem you have once overcome. Very important. This will help you to approach issues in a more experiential way. Remember, there are 2 ways to do this actually. Sometimes it may not be in an area you have overcome a problem. That is, you may not be selling a solution you have once administered to yourself and it works in that as far as you used to solve a problem. It may be that there's this usual problem. There's a problem that's more of a usual problem to people of different category or something. You happen to enjoy that, to enjoy the absence of that problem. Did you get that? That's another great way to build a brand. You never encounter the problem, but many encounter it. But you happen to be one of the few that was able to pass, pass that stage without actually going through the problem. You can start building a brand. What do you now say? You keep helping people to share how you escaped, how you managed not to suffer the problem. Okay? And then, of course, for those who fell into it, you should also say how they can overcome. Do you understand? You should say how they can do what? Overcome. Is important. But then I'm saying that I know a particular person. There are too many parenting coaches out there. There's one of these coaches that I know, according to her, according to what she says, what she implies, she was not wrongly parented, according to her, at least socially. She was not wrongly parented. And she is a parent coach, and she's doing relatively well as a parent coach. Do you get? So a lot of people were wrongly parented. A lot of people are wrongly parenting too. So she keeps sharing how people did it wrong, how the right way she was parented kept her. And so she teaches people more of her parents' pattern. And the input, such a beautiful, not a because there are many, such beautiful impacts or result or consequences, such beautiful results of such good parenting pattern on her, that she's the best, she's doing well, she's getting it right here and there because of how good she was parented. And she's helping people to parent well. She's helping people not to parent, teaching people the bad ways to parent that they must avoid. I don't know if you get what I'm saying now. These are ways to build brand in this respect. All right. Okay, so the third one is to administer both the way. Okay, so when you begin to build a brand, that was one another thing that helped me. In my own case was that I suffered lack of purpose. I eventually discovered it. Okay, so that's what I'm teaching people. Now, the next thing is, when you are building a brand, show people how you solve the problem and then how other people solved it. Almost all the problems on earth, is rare to find a problem that you have just one way to solve. Almost every problem you encounter has ways to solve it. Now, but you are one person, and probably you only explored one way. Teach the way you explored the solution. Then teach the way other people taught you, or you see other people solve it. Okay, that's one thing I did. That's why I mentioned earlier that there are 3 ways to discover purpose. And the way that worked for me personally was one of the ways, but I teach the 3. And almost everyone I've taught, I told them, but this particular one was one that worked for me. Do you get? All right. So it's important. This is how brands are built. These things I'm teaching you may sound simple, but this is the nitty-gritty that many don't know and put in practice. That was what Rachel where she is today. That's why when I come to talk about purpose, it's as if I was born with purpose. I talk about it in a way no one else. I'm still coming to other things that make me present my solution in a manner no one else. You see me, I have competitors, but I don't have competitors. What do I mean? Where I have people that have access to my audience, that do what looks like what I do, that even do what I do. But I don't think there's any man on earth who does what I do the way I do it. Don't worry, I'll explain better when I get to USP, unique selling point. Okay? So when you get, now the way that worked for you is already an effective way. Then the way that worked for others, and as a brand, one of the things I did, when I began in March, in April, I didn't collect money from anybody in April. I was lucky. I began to earn about 2-3 months after I became a coach. That's too fast. Many people don't earn that easy, and it's not a bad thing. But I began to earn between 2 and 3 months. I began because of my audacity, my clarity. These things I'm saying, I don't even want to mention you discovering your purpose before you go into brand building. I want to believe you've discovered your purpose. And if you've not discovered your purpose, what are you here for? These things I'm saying are not really for you. Because there's this There's a confidence that comes from a place of discovered purpose. You are certain, like me. It's not claiming. I'm not claiming. There's no one I would meet. There's nothing I think anyone will tell me, and I begin to doubt whether I've discovered my purpose or not. The only thing I tell us is this. Sometimes this purpose of a thing, you're looking for the best word to describe it. It's possible that the word I'm using to describe my purpose, I'm still looking for a more relevant word. Do you get it? Like someone can say come, another person can say approach, another person can say near. You know, that kind of thing. Near me. Be nearing, be approaching, be coming. These things mean something, you know, specific. But if you watch, they don't mean exactly the same. So in English language, no two words are exactly the same. That's why in English, secondary school, in high school, and you know, English language in particular, or use of English, they will ask us the nearest meaning. Okay, not actually the similar, but the nearest meaning. So near, approach, come, they are not exactly the same, but each of them are nearer, you know. So what I'm saying is this. There are times, for example, your purpose should be come. I'm just making instance. And you say approach. One day you now come to a point that, no, let me start using the word come, not approach, or near. Do you get? Has it changed? No. It's just the terminology you're still looking for. All right, so that's about this setting. No, there's this certainty. There's this assurance I have about my purpose. It's not so that people not say, hey, so finally you've not even discovered the purpose that you're teaching others. God knows I don't even care what anybody says. But it's obvious in my subconscious mind, even in my spirit, I know I'm not missing road. I know my purpose. So if you've not discovered your purpose, that's another thing. A lot of people on social media, because of the heights they find themselves, and the way they be talking about purpose, everyone talks about purpose. Purpose is something everyone claims to know, like the English language. When students are preparing to write O-level exam, everyone claims to know English. Almost everyone. Mathematics is something many deny. You hardly see someone that will beat their chest and say, I know maths very well. Everybody says, it's maths, so maths is my problem. Maths is my problem. English, no, English is not my problem. Have you checked WAEC result before? Or O-level WAEC? I'm talking about WAEC from West Africa or maybe Nigeria. English language is mostly failed every year than mathematics. People pass maths more than English because of what we used to call overconfidence then in secondary school. So that's how it is with purpose. Purpose is something everybody claims to know and can talk about. Everybody claims that, because a lot of people are ashamed. In my class, some people come to me very Nicodemously, you know, very secretly and privately, and say, Rachel, can I be honest with you? I've not discovered my purpose. Some of them are medical doctors, some of them are managing directors, some of them are highly placed people. And that's why one of the ethics of my job is that you don't go there spreading the fact that this person came. Before I mention name of people that discovered purpose in my class, they would have permitted me. They would have shared the testimonials publicly. Some of them will share the testimonials privately and say, please don't mention my name. And I keep protecting them. Are you getting it? I keep protecting them. So what I'm saying is that purpose discovery is something you have to get settled. I don't even, it's not even part of the 10 things I've said here. So, but because I feel you would have discovered, if you have not, please get the book Why the You. That's the shortest way. Get the book Why the You, and in fact, come to me, chat me, okay, using 0890 5362 4450. You know, just come, you can come inbox or something. Let's talk. Because if I say come to purpose discovery class, that is more expensive. Of course, the easiest way is to come to Innovators iSpace. Innovators iSpace is a place where you get purpose in a more, because in Innovators iSpace, you discover your purpose. We run extensive, detailed purpose discovery and self-discovery class in Innovators iSpace, and how you can begin brand building based on that. In fact, Innovators iSpace is a place any human being should pass through. You need it. All right, so let's go to the fourth point. I've mentioned 3, actually 4. Purpose is the 4th one, but I didn't write it here because I felt, I mean, if you've not discovered the purpose, what are you doing building brand? So the 4th one is, this is another thing that helped me, which I see many people fumble with. Simple, but easy to fail. A lot of people are not shameless about building their brand. A lot of people are shy. So they will say, I carry my market like crazy. I am shameless. If you knew me from 2019, yeah, I took my brand building so personal. I was shameless about it. People were like, is it not Sister Gimmick again? Is it not Sarah Rachel again? Is it not Rachel again? Yeah, is it not? It's my audacity and do every time people, some people were already calling me Peppers. And I was okay with it. Do you understand? I don't even care. But that's how it should be. You should be known so well. You should be so shameless, so extremely committed and consistent. These are 3 words. Shameless, extremely committed, and consistent about it, especially on the social media. So what are you building a brand around? Is today, this morning too, one of my fans and followers, you know, my friend too, though we've not met physically, was saying, when he was congratulating me for a lot of progress recorded so far, he said that aside the fact, according to him, I'm trying to quote him verbatim, he said that aside the fact that my content is usually extraordinary, according to him, my content is something else. It's so wonderful. He said, aside the quality of the content I share, that I'm consistent. He said, if you ask me, I would even think I'm not too consistent because of sometimes family, this, sometimes, of course, you marry your husband first and do many other things. There are things that are first before brand building, family, marriage, and all of that. And sometimes e-health, I may not be very healthy at the time and all that. And some of these things may affect the way I post, and some other personal weaknesses. For example, I am a slow writer. I don't write very speedily. And sometimes when I should make some posts, you see me not, I should be making short posts or not even writing at all. Other personal issues like my hair too. There's a way my hair will be tattered. I know I should make videos, but I look at my hair and say, I cannot carry this hair to camera. So let me write. And videos are very wonderful. They are very effective. I don't know if you understand. So if you ask me, I'm even thinking that I'm shameless, truly. I'm committed, but I'm even thinking that I'm not often consistent. That's my own assessment. But I'm beginning to see from what people are saying that if I were to be as consistent as I want, then I should be maybe over consistent. So what I'm trying to say is, if you watch since 2019 till date, it's been Rachel and Peppers. Some of us say, why you've not grown is changing. They start talking about this, you join them. Go and check my timeline. I don't even follow trend. I don't follow trend. Sorry, I'm looking for my water. I don't follow trends. I'm sorry, I don't. No matter what is raining. What is raining for Rachel is purpose and innovation. Purpose and innovation. I am so undistracted. The only thing I majorly talk about on my timeline, which is not related to this somehow, is the gospel, because that's my life. I'm a preacher, and any day I stop preaching, then I don't need to continue living. So I keep preaching because so I keep bringing it. But some people so much do preaching that you don't know whether they are brands. There's a way. Build a brand. Keep building influence. As a believer, for example, the more influential you become, the more the gospel is heavier. The heavier the gospel is in your mouth. I'm telling you. So sometimes some of us seem to over-religionize things. All the same, I don't want to come in between you and God, okay? All right. So I said, I've talked about this shameless. That was one thing about me. If you check, I don't even see anyone. If you come to social media, if you ask me, I feel social media just has 2 sets of people, Rachel and others. I'm telling you the truth. I feel it's just me and others. And so if you come to social media, you've got to see me, you've got to hear me. It has to be me. You have to see me. You have to. So I keep pushing it in a way that even if you don't want to see Rachel, you will see her. And that's how I got registered into people's hands. So recommendations start coming, because whenever they talk about purpose, they talk about certain things, mine will always go to one lady they know. That's the power of consistency, extreme commitment, and of course, shamelessness in brand building your brand. Then the fifth one is always present your solution. And in fact, your entire business, like a social impact. Congratulations that you're watching this. Because many are missing the things we are sharing in this class. And that's why they are the way they are. And they will remain like that. Some people didn't even attend this class because of pride. You know, why would I go to learn from Rachel? We are praying for them. Okay, some of you who are watching replays, thank God you made it finally to watch it. When you are building your brand, if you watch me, there are many things I do that people often come to me on inbox and say, please help me do. Oh, thank you. God bless you. I'll say, oh, God bless you too, man. You're welcome, sir. Whatever. This is how much I charge. I say, okay, sorry. I didn't know, I didn't know you charge to do it. Am I surprised? No. Because the way I present my brand is about impact, is about I help you discover your purpose. The way I help this person was confused. I don't talk much about the way I sold. In fact, there was a time in my brand at the level of building the brand that I nearly began to sound salesy, and I had to come back. Salesy, SALESY. So I'm selling. I had to retrace my step. No, but usually I sound like a social impactor, and that's who I am. So present your business like you're making impact. It's better. People see you as a charity worker, as a devoted servant of humanity, and all that, and they will come to you. If people know that you are a money chaser, they say, where they see you, even when they know you have the solution they need. So don't always sound like you money. We know you're a solution seller. You know you're a business. I mean, who are you? You are a money chaser, for goodness sake. All of us chase money in a way. But then don't present your business like social impact. So for me, it's not about pay for this, pay for that. It's about help you to discover your purpose. It's about help you to build brand and all that. That is how I sound. The ITIM, which is a place I do wonders by God's grace. In fact, the transformations that children that pass through in their day moment to Rachel have are beyond what I thought I could see then. I mean, God is doing wonders in the lives of those children. Now, I keep talking about the idea moment, how it transforms children and all of that. I can't remember catching myself in the public on my timeline saying, pay this and don't pay this for the idea moment literature. I keep talking about the transformations it gives to the children. I keep talking about how it has helped the children, how we do it. I keep talking about if you want us to have your baby featured, reach us via so contact. This is what I do. Do you understand? Now, it is when you reach us that you know that it's not for free and you know how much it costs. I don't know if you get it. I'm teaching you what made me to come to where I am today. These were my secrets. I should collect money to teach you this. I'm sharing it for free. I wish you can grab the sense. Okay? Grab the sense. All right. Then then there's something. Number 6 now is you should normalize applying for international opportunities. But that was why I taught you that number 5 of appearing like a social impactor, not like a business person. Because international opportunities are looking for those who are making social impacts. It's not looking for those. International opportunities are not for people who want to go to abroad and who want to be awarded and recognized and all that. It's looking for those who are making impact. Now, if you're fond of presenting your business like a solution, like something that's helping the society, helping individuals and all of that, when you want to apply for international opportunities, it's easier for you to know what to say. Normalize it. That's another thing. Why you see me do a lot of the things I do on social media, one thing that many don't know is that I apply for international opportunities as often as possible. Especially in 2019 and especially in 2020. I applied between 2019 and 2020. I applied for a lot of international opportunities. 2019, 2020. Okay? Now remember the foundation for it, when you discover your purpose, you impart. Every business actually imparts socially. It's just to know how to do that, how to say you do that. Okay, so now this constant application to international opportunity has a way of making you to really spot the impacts you make. If not, you keep making noise with others. You are a transformer, or a transformist, or whatever. See, when you apply, because it's an opportunity to ask you, what do you do? How do you do it? There are specifications in the questioning that will push you to know what you do specifically. It helps you to spot it. And so the more you apply to international opportunities, the more you really know the problems you solve. And so when you come on social media, sometimes when I come on social media, I sound in a way that, seems intimidating to even people doing the same thing that I'm doing. Because there's more assurance in my mind. Because while they are just hustling on social media looking for clients, in the course of applying to different international opportunities, those for women, those for this, those for that, my dear, I keep getting clarity. Not about my purpose now, but about the work I do, who I do it for, how I do it, the result I want to achieve, and more. Are you getting it? And another positive impact of applying to international opportunity is that it makes you feel like you've got it. Sometimes when I finish applying, they say you could be coming to Hague, they will sponsor you to Netherlands, they will sponsor you to UK, to this, they will show you the pictures of those that have gone, you read a lot about it. While you're still in Nigeria, you've traveled with them and you're seeing yourself, you're enjoying the ecstasy of the whole thing. It makes you the visualization. You see yourself as a victor. You see yourself as an achiever of such already. And so when you come out to talk, it reflects in your voice. You see yourself as a change maker. So when you come on social media, for example, while people are just doing it, you see a lot of them as hustlers. And something tells you you are the difference maker, you are the change maker, you are the imparter yourself. And so, there's a way, and it affects your poise. Okay? All right. So the seventh one is to know and note your USP. Know and note your USP. Very important. If you want, what I do is to help individuals discover their specific life purposes, build businesses around such purposes, and stand out. Beat market competition, go global, stand out, doing all that. Why do you think I talk about standing out? You need to stand out. One way to stand out is your USP. There are many people doing business online. Many so-called brands. And when Rachel says she's a brand, they say they are brands because they too receive Facebook group awards. They receive invites sometimes to come and teach in groups and all that. And they thought we are all brands. We are not mates, even though they began far before me. Because they don't know the USP. If you ask them, what do you do? They say, I am so and so coach. Now, what makes you different from the other person that does exactly the same? We are not competing. That's where they will think that knowing how you stand out is competing. That's the error there. I don't know if you understand. Know your USP. USP is called unique selling point. What makes you different from the other person doing it? Edwina Ede once said that you should come to a point, and indeed, I mean, she said what I said or what I'm saying, and I'm saying what she said. We know the same thing, and so we say it in our individual classes. If you know, you discover your purpose and you know your unique selling point, you know it and you note it. Each time you deliver, it shows in the delivery you make. Now, it makes you to, it makes you to come to a point where you no longer have competitors. You see purpose? Hey, when people come and say they are purpose discovery coaches, I congratulate them. I mean, these are colleagues, they say. But guess what? I know the way I go about purpose, helping you discover. First of all, a lot of purpose coaches, that's why many people don't say they are purpose discovery coaches. They say they are purpose coaches. They avoid the word discovery. So many of them, I know they are my colleagues over there. You know why? They will help you, enlighten you, but then help you say, this is my purpose. What's more, many of them have not discovered their own purposes. Now, one of my unique selling points is that I have discovered my purpose. One, I help people discover. If you pass through me and you don't discover your purpose, have failed. I'm telling you, if it's papers you paid for or Innovators iSpace, anyone who comes through Innovators iSpace must leave there with the papers discovered. It's a must for me, it's not choice. I must do it. For me, the first success is that you discover your purpose. You see why I keep, no, it's not about whether there are areas I keep winning. Okay? I keep winning. I keep winning. Do you get? Because this is it. This is the reality about me. Okay? It's the reality. And so there's nothing you can do about it. So the way unique selling point is what makes you different. Another thing is that I'm result oriented. I can go on and on. I know my unique selling point. I'm result oriented. And let me briefly say that. To be result oriented, almost everybody claims to be result oriented. But many are not. If you worked with me in the iSpace and other, you will know what I mean by that. Or people's discovery classes. One of the secrets I've used to be result oriented for me is whenever I'm to deliver anything to you, I first put myself in your shoes. Literally. I'm not saying something like literally. And then if this is what I'm looking for, this thing I want to tell this person may sound motivating, may sound good, say, wow, value. But would the person come and say, finally, this is solved? If this cannot be your testimony, I've not succeeded. Some of you who know me closely, my mantra is that when the students have not learned, the teacher has not taught. So I see myself as a teacher, and when you as my students haven't learned, I haven't taught. Know your USP. Knowing this will make you to see yourself as the go-to person. So if you bring 10, 100, 1,000, whatever, people, discovery coaches or whatever, I don't get disturbed. I don't even feel like, wow, these are competitors. Because I know my USP. I know the unique seller. I know the way, the value I deliver and the way I deliver it that is different from any other. Okay? So now the question is, what if I don't have my unique selling point? Why should you not have? Okay, you can approach me. If you come to the iSpace, I'll help you find yours if you think you don't. But please, you have your unique selling point. So know it and note it. So this have a way of making you see yourself as a go-to person. And people don't, a lot of people, when I see certain brands, when they show up like this, they just appear like all of us are doing it. You have to see yourself as the only person. It's not competing. It's not that you won't love your colleagues. You won't relate with them, even advertise the products if they need be. But within you see yourself as the only person. You are addressing your clients, remember. You are not addressing your colleagues. So tell your clients, if it is papers you want, of course you should know you come to me. Do you get? Have you said Chioma is not a papers discovery coach? No. Have you said Lucy is not a papers discovery coach? No. But you just say, if it's papers you want, of course you know the go-to person, and that's me. All right. So this in itself has a way of blowing your confidence. It blows your poise. It makes you more confident. It makes you come out more, with more confidence, with more poise, with more assuredness. Okay? And this sum up to make you sound and position yourself like an authority. People don't like patronizing learners. A lot of people are learners. They keep appearing like learners. And because they keep appearing like learners, people keep flocking in the comments. Those who are flocking on the comment section are friends. Those who comment on their works, they'll come to pay homage, to pay you back. Anyone you comment on their works regularly, you always be commenting on your own. It's a two-way thing. Do you get? But then, how many of those comments, convert to cash? Okay. So when you position as an authority, it's easier for people to. And you can only do this if you follow. Remember the steps. This is the 7th step we are talking about. And this particular one, so you know your USP. Okay? All right. The 8th one is something that is a bit related to what I've just said about people commenting or all that. As much as possible. The things I'm saying are the things I've done and I do. There are too many things I do actually. But I know that this one video may not be able to accommodate it. But at Innovators iSpace, I leave no stone unturned. Innovators iSpace is where I reproduce me. I almost literally, like, I try to put me, collect me, and implant in you. And of course, add extra. Do you get? That's what I do at Innovators iSpace. All right, so, but another one, as much as possible. When you're adding friends, when you're building your space, don't build with more than 50% of those that are very enlightened. When I see certain things people say on social media, I laugh. Hey, if you send me friend request, I'll go to your timeline. If I see shared posts everywhere, if I see these everywhere, I'll just know that you're not a serious person. I go for people who I get value in their time, and I laugh. Those caliber of people, this is another secret. You should pay to learn this. I mean it. Those caliber of people that know what they are doing, You go to someone that sends you friend request, or you want to send friend request, you already have 200 and something mutual friends with the fellow. The fellow is a serious business person where they are, and these are the kinds of people you want to add. They don't buy from you. Most times what you're selling, they've known, they've heard. Learn. That's one of Richard's secrets. I have some people on my friend list that I keep removing every day. They have 300 and something mutual friends with me. Some of them are good for nothing as long as my space is concerned. Good for nothing to my brand. Though they came begging me, they send me friend requests, I managed to accept them, if I have to use the word. They don't comment, they don't like they don't show. They don't know that they knocked at my door and accepted them. They forget that when you are the one that visited people, you should be the one to start greeting the fellow. And because they don't know, they think they're in their right. And so, like, now that my friend, whatever, is full, and any day I have the time, I'll make space. They are the kinds of people I remove. You see those people that look empty, that they don't know anything, they don't know where they're headed in life. They are the people that will buy from you. They are not as enlightened as you are yet. Wait, who wants to open a school? You want to open a school, and you go to a place where people are very learned. I mean, what are you saying? Is it not when you say go and look for market? What do you call market? Okay, now you are a people's discovery coach or certain personal development, whatever is what you do, and you are trying to add my kind of person as majority of your friends, and you're expecting to sell. Do you not know that most of the things a lot of people talk about on social media, I already know it. I already apply them. That's why I don't buy. Use your number 6. That was what I use, and that's what I still use. So when I want to remove people, I don't, except removing scammers, I don't remove people who are novice. I remove the enlightened ones. Except if the enlightened ones are useful to me. That's how to blow. Because those are the people that will see you as experts. Not people who have known so much. Like someone like me, you come to me now and maybe you speak English language. I'll be like, yeah, you're a graduate, you speak the English language. I mean, it's expected. But there's someone you go to and speak English, wow, this one is Oyibo, hey, this one. These are the kinds of people that pay you. All right. Okay, so the 9th one is one of the things that helped me when I was beginning is to try to serve a group, online and offline. Let me say something publicly that I've not said before publicly. In 2019, yes, end of 2019, I had the opportunity of training core members in Imo State. Now, this is the secret that I said I've not said publicly. I didn't get paid for that thing. It wasn't paid. In fact, somehow, I was the one that reached out to those core members. I was one that reached out to those core members, and I teach them somehow. So I showed interest, and they showed interest too, and that was how the deal was. Now, when I went and trained them, it entered into my CV that I trained core members in Imo State. I shared it on social media, the testimonials that came from it and every other thing. Do you get? Now, the words of wow, she's already training even core members. So this, there's something I teach. I teach a lot of these are far deeper in Innovators iSpace. Under the section that says the psychology of digitally based business. In a digital-based business, we don't follow you to the house. The principle of digital-based business is presentation, impression, okay? Presentation, or what we can call expression, okay? Expression, impression, perception, and patronage. Do you understand? These are the principles. There's the principle of expression. The way you express yourself, in other words, the way you present yourself, determines the impression you make in the eyes of people that see you. And this impression determines the way you're perceived. And the way you're perceived is what determines whether you be patronized or not, and how you be patronized. So when people heard that, Rachel, wow, this Rachel of yesterday, at that time I wasn't up to 1 year in the business, but I had gone to the level of training core members. You know what it means to get to that capacity? Because I had the opportunity of living somehow a bit close to the local government where the core members are, and from there I trained core members there. So I say I train core members in Imo State. It's when there's a need for extra specification that I mentioned in the local government. If not, I don't say I train core members in Imo State. Do you get? So, but I actually did this for free. Now, when you are building a brand, you don't begin to say, this is what I did for free and this is what I didn't do for free. You don't do that. Do you get? You don't do that. Just keep serving and you keep sharing. So what you need to share, which is one of the things that blew me up far earlier and faster, is that I keep reaching out. I keep looking for opportunity to impact. I keep sharing who I impacted, how I made the impact, and what I gave to them. And so what I gave to who I gave and how I gave it. And then the response. Watch my timeline. This is what I share. I don't talk about payment easily. No. You don't even know from my timeline if I do free. Some people think I don't do free things at all. Me, I do a lot of free things. We don't even escape it. Some people are just too dear to you that you have to do some things free. But then I charge too. I mean, these things is such a way that you don't even know which one I do for free and which one I cannot do for free. So if you happen to grab for free from me, it's luck. But sometimes when I was beginning, I could reach out and I could share. These are the people I imparted at this time. This was what I gave to them. This was how I did it to them, especially who and what. And then I'll come back to share the response. I know they play with testimonial. Now, there are two kinds of testimonials. You know, another name for testimonial is the results. There are two kinds of results. We have what we call express results. I teach this in detail and how you can, I hold your hand and show you more specifically in the eye space. Now, there's what we call expressed result and observed result. Express result is that after delivery, people say, wow, this is wonderful. They have to tell you, if you have been under my tutelage, one of the things that helped me build my brand, because the testimony is not always effective from your own mouth. Do you understand? The testimony is not always what? Very effective from your own mouth. Okay? It's not always very effective. When the testimony is coming from another person, they hear the person. Even Jesus said that he is not the one testifying for himself. So when you can say yourself, market yourself, it's not a crime. But when you have the privilege of teaching or imparting anyone, almost everybody must say how they felt about your teaching and you share it. That's what we call expressed result, expressed testimonial. Now there's this other observed result. Observed result is when they've gone back home to implement what you've taught and they get results. I told you I have a client, a managing director of a company in South that passed through me after giving me worthy testimonial. That is word of verbal testimonial, which is the express testimonial. She went back to her business and started new things that wasn't happening in the business. Her encounter with my class changed a lot of things about the business. That became obvious. So I collected both her expressed result and her observed result. That is, I taught her very well. She testified. She went and implemented the things I taught, and it worked and produced result. I blew the trumpet seriously on my timeline. They let me play. I know how to blow my trumpet. Some of you are so you blow your trumpet in so cool way, as if you say it's so hard. The timeline is yours. In the past 7 days, Uncle Mark, blocked me from commenting and replying comments. It's my comment, it's mine. And I had to bear it for 7 days and I'm back. So the timeline is mine. If I don't make the noise, I mean, who quietness help? Brand building is not about gentleness. You have to sound like you own the city. Okay? That's the way. All right. So reach out and share these things I told you. The last one I'll be sharing today because of time is go to radio, go to TV, go to newspapers, go to blogs, be featured in such places. It's called social credibility indicators. These things are called the credibility indicators. Last week Saturday, I was featured on a global scene. Okay, God has given me the privilege of going global in several means. I've been recognized in the United States. I've been featured by a British person. I mean, I have too many global on. By this time, okay, today is Wednesday. By God's grace, by this time next week, I'll be on radio. All right. Then next Tuesday, I'll be on TV. These are, and the TV and international TV station, of course. So these are social credibility indicators. It's important. I had the privilege of, my brand began in March 2019. And by May 2019, I had gone to radio. Like that. So only in 2019, I went to radio for 6 good times. And I didn't pay a dime. There's no time to begin to teach you how to get yourself on radio and such places without being. As I speak with you, I've never paid to be featured on radio, but I've been featured many times, getting to 10 times. I've never paid to be featured on TV, but I'll be featured on international TV network, station or channel next week. I've never paid to be featured on blogs. I've been interviewed by a Canadian, I've been featured by a British, and so on, interviewed and many other things. I went to Google my name the other day, and these things appear on Google. Okay, if you search my name in Google, you find them. Did I pay? No. But how to get that without paying is something that if I begin to explain now, believe me, this video may not end soon. And this video shouldn't exceed 1.5 hours. No, it shouldn't. I don't do long videos. I didn't even know it would get to this point, but I just needed to explain very well. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you got plenty value. If you did not, you should share this video. Please be kind enough to share this video. Please share this video. A lot of people, what I've shared this evening is the prayer that many people have been praying. What I've shared this evening is the answer to a lot of vigils that many people have been making. Rachel is not doing any magic. The things I've shared are the basic secrets that made me to fly above my mates. Thank you so much for watching. Then I want you to know that I decided to give out something just to celebrate the 2 years anniversary of the great brand. Okay, so I decided to give discount to my products. So Innovators iSpace, actually, the third batch, the registration is ongoing. So please, if you register today, I'll give you 2,500 naira for free. So instead of registering at 15K, you register as 12,500 naira if you register today. If you don't register today, don't worry. The law will conclude the matter. Okay? Then TIM too. I'll be going to Abuja. By Monday next week, I'll be in Kampala Garden, Buhari, Abuja, to do what I know how best to do, to transform children. I am a child. In fact, if your child passes through me, you know that it's as if I'm called for the kids, not for the adults. Fulfilling purpose, that's how it is. So if I told myself that anyone who watched this video that reached out to me today about featuring the baby will have 35% discount. I will be giving the person as much as 2,500 naira discount and get the baby featured on TIM. And for YBU, I'll just be giving tiny 500 naira discount. So if you buy YBU today, I will give it to you for as low as just 2K instead of 2,500 naira. Okay, is that okay? So these are places and now Innovators iSpace. If I tell you that all that made me who I am, all that made my brand what it is, I've finished sharing on this video, I'll be lying. There's so much, you get, except this video has to last in. I mean, there's so much, but I've shared the basic, the ones I can. At Innovators iSpace, I leave no stone unturned. I wanted to share a particular testimonial a candidate in the current iSpace sent to me today. I said, let me leave it for later. Notice iSpace is a turning point. I leave no stone unturned. Okay, and one thing with Innovators iSpace is that you know how those guys behave. Sha, that's what I told them to do. Every opportunity I got, they say, Mama, come and tell us how did the connection begin. And I mentioned from stage one of how, in fact, every opportunity I get internationally and some locally, they will ask me, how did you get it? So at iSpace, I tell you how I do whatever I do and how to. Believe me, Innovators iSpace, if every online academy is like the iSpace, we will have more problem solvers than we have today. Not just noise makers on social media. Okay, and TIM is a transforming point. Please, if your baby will be featuring a baby from Port Harcourt in TIM, we would have featured her this week, but because of my travel to Abuja, I don't have time to do that. So when I come from Abuja, I'll feature her. Okay, and many other babies lined up, you know. So, but if you reach out to us today for the iSpace, you have 2,000 naira dash from me. You go to charge your card. I will reduce 20,500 naira from the normal fee, so you pay 12,500 instead of 15K. If you reach out to me for the TIM to feature your baby, your biological child, your foster child, or any baby you love, I will also give you a gift of 2,000. I mean, I'll give you a discharge of discount of 2,500 naira. And if it is YVU, the word could be YVU, the life-changing YVU. YVU is a blessing. I keep looking at me, I say, Rachel, were you the one that authored this book? It has blessed lives. If that's what you want, I'll give you a tickling 500 naira and sell it to you at 2,000 naira instead of 2,500 naira. That is if you do all this today. If you don't do it tomorrow, 1st of April 2021, forget it. The prices are what they are. Thank you so much for watching. Do you have any question for me? Yes, I am waiting for a question. Did you enjoy my network? It was another thing that gave my brand. I used to battle with network, but recently I began to sit up. Yes. Network and Nigeria are already 5 and 6, but you can do something about it. It's investment actually. So let me just be very honest. What I'm using now is Wi-Fi. This is it. Can you see it? This is what Rachel is using. So since I began this broadcast, there has not been any blinking of network. So as a growing brand, like on Saturday when a British woman hosted me, how could I afford to come there with tom, 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 tom? Can you hear me? You cannot hear me. Hey, that was embarrassment 101. And the world was watching. People from different continents of the world. So I had to but with this, I was able to present as if I was airing from the United States. Network was, so, all right, thank you so much for watching. I can see questions coming, so I want to assume you understood what we taught. Thank you for being part of this show. I'm glad to have the privilege of sharing my secrets with you. Yes, I know I should collect money to share this, but you know what? If only you collect it for free as I've shared for free, go and implement it. Become the next Rachel, and better than Rachel. That will be my joy. And until next time, take care of yourself. Love you.